Eat this, drink that, go.
Remember, the wait times at the HCA East Florida Hospital emergency rooms average in the single digits, less than 10 minutes. Just go to hcaeastflorida.com and list all their wait times for all their emergency rooms, and they update those every 30 minutes because emergencies do not wait for appointments. We're here, of course, with Jorge Zamanillo, the Executive Director of HistoryMiami Museum. By the way, the address, 101 West Flagler Street, right in downtown Miami. Learn more at HistoryMiami.org, HistoryMiami.org. George, this event, I've been to the Hall of Fame visiting it in Canton, Ohio, and this reminds me so much of it because it brings the history and the flavor of old-time football from the NFL. 100 years we're celebrating with this Super Bowl. Do you have a favorite exhibit that's here in this particular part? Yeah.
I have a couple of items. I was surprised when the exhibit was finally put up and finished, and I started walking around. It's incredible. The history goes back, over 100 years in the NFL now. Some of the early equipment is just amazing. We were talking about earlier, the leather helmets. Right. It's probably a completely different sport back then, how much you can get away with, right?
Oh, yeah,
There was a trophy from 1900, there's some really old trophies.
Yeah, well, they actually go back, 1920 was the first year of the NFL, but there were some leagues before that that kind of gave seed to the NFL. And you've got some things in here about that, too.
Yeah, some early materials, including Tom Dempsey's shoe.
Oh, is that right?
I mean, you gotta see that. Of course, Tom Dempsey was born without toes on his right foot, and he held most of the major kicking records for years, a place kicker, and it was because of the way his foot was shaped. But you see that shoe in play, you see it in person. It's amazing. His story, not his personal story, and then some of the equipment right behind us here. That Green Bay Packer cape, the sideline cape, that's vintage. You see the old NFL films and the Packers on the sideline with that cape on. That just goes back. So
and this is from the 40s, this jersey over here.
Yeah, you got some incredible stuff. Unitas,
Brown, Otto Graham. That's an Otto Graham jersey behind us. You've got a Jimmy Brown jersey over there, Tom Brady one. Yeah. So there's so many great things in history that you can walk through. And the history of it just brings you back to, for me, to my childhood and thinking about these things. You talk about some of the things you can't do today that you did then. Those big defensive linemen, they would tape pennies to their fingers. Put tape all over them. And when they did a head slap, when a head slap was legal, it would ring inside of a helmet like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, my gosh.
There were all those things.
When did they outlaw that?
Well, they allowed the head slap sometime, I think, in the 60s or 70s. Yeah, there were a lot of tricks that a lot of people used.
Secrets are coming out today.
Well, with these jerseys, the jerseys, they've improved so much through the years. Yeah. The offensive linemen would take silicone, and they would spray it on their jerseys because the defensive lineman would try to grab it and they would slip when that happened. But if you're an offensive lineman, you stayed away from them because your hands would get filled with this stuff.
And you couldn't catch the ball.
Couldn't catch the ball.
But those are the things I think of when I walk through here.
The evolution of the uniforms, it's amazing.
Right.
And of course, the Dolphin material.
Yeah.
You see Zonka's jersey there, his cleats.
Right.
Bob Grease's glasses, of course. Right. And it really brings back memories of those 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Now we're going to give away 2 tickets at the end of the show.
We are to
this exhibit, which will be fabulous.
By the way, if you want to come down and visit, they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sunday, noon to 5. And follow them at HistoryMiami.org, so we can get them online. They're located 101 West Flagler Street in Miami. It's History Miami Museum. It's a spectacular exhibit. And if this is what you've done with football, I can only imagine how you spark the interest in other things, like with Art Basel and that street life photographs.
And you have some early things from South Florida.
We do. We go back, 10,000 years, which is amazing that people have been living here for that long.
Oh my gosh.
So we have our permanent exhibit that covers 10,000 years South Florida history, from prehistoric times, archaeology, early pioneers, of course, the transformation of the city in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, up to current day. We collect every day.
And you've got 2 buildings here, right?
2 buildings, north and south.
Right.
It covers everything.
It's. I'm glad somebody is collecting the history of South Florida, too, because for so long, I'll give you an example, when it came to television, in the early days of TV, 1949, Ralph Rennick at old WTDJ, a lot of that stuff was being thrown away.
It was just all
and now it's being collected. So it'll make its way to this museum. There's a nice.
And we have WTVJ photo collection here.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Well, go look at PM Magazine in the 1980s.
I remember that.
Oh my gosh.
So the stuff from the 40s, you can find Jimmy in there too.
It was just kind of frightening. I had a different color hair then. I just thought it dyed this color actually. But again, come down to this exhibit, Gridiron Glory, will be here until February the 9th. So if you got friends that are big football fans, bring them down here. But for the other exhibits, I'm excited about seeing that street photography element that's December 5th through the 8th during Art Basel. And there's a lot of other things you can find and enjoy. I imagine you get a lot of schools coming through here.
We do. A lot of school kids, all ages coming through here. And we go out to the schools also. We do a lot of outreach in the community, and it's important. That's really our biggest audience.
A traveling exhibit kind of a thing?
Yeah, no, actually educators and guides going out to the community, going to their schools, teaching them certain programs about different parts of our history.
Nice.
And that's really the audience you want to engage and become lifelong museum visitors.
How long has this been here?
This museum, we've been around since 1940 as an organization. We're going to celebrate 80th anniversary next year.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Ah,
We've been in this building.
congratulations.
We've been in this building since '84.
Yeah.
So we're the oldest museum in South Florida. Yeah.
And we'll find I'm sure, some great things to go for that for the anniversary in the 80th next year.
80th next year.
George, thanks so much. Congratulations.
Thank
on this.
you.
What a
Yeah,
spectacular
this
place.
is fabulous.
We'll come back with more right after this on Eat This, Drink That, Go.
Yay!
Eat this, drink that, go.